We could all stand for the pledge, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first things first, we're gonna open the public hearing in regards to the cannabis law. Warren,
Okay, so we have as you know, the town about a year ago opted to opt out of on-site consumption of cannabis lounges, but opted in to allow retail sales of cannabis retail dispensaries within town. So we're permitted to have that within town. So if we are permitted to have it, we have to change our zoning law to accommodate that. So we had our planning consultant, Taylor Young, prepare a draft local law which allows the regulation of retail dispensaries. Basically, the law allows the cannabis retail dispensary to be permitted in the Hamlet business, HUBUS, the Hamlet Main Street districts pursuant to special use permit and site plan approval by the planning board. We're requiring that the applicant submit proof of licensure by the permitting authority. We have regulations and restrictions on where they can be located. For example, they can't be within 500 feet of a house of worship or a daycare center. That's all in local law. And you cannot dispense products in the same location where cannabis is manufactured. The hours of operation, according to our local law, will be limited from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and from 12 noon to 5 p.m. on Sunday. It must be located in a permanent building, not a drive-through. View of marijuana plants products from outside is not permitted. We have to provide for secure disposal of marijuana remnants or byproducts, and not place them in exterior refuse containers. The dispensary must be ventilated so that there will be no odor of marijuana detected by someone outside. They have to have an operating security assistant approved by our police department. And their surveillance requirements also contained in the local law. The exterior parking must be well lit and not unreasonably glare on neighboring properties. The applicant has to demonstrate to the planning board that the site is designed in a way to discourage loitering. That could be a problem, trying to figure that out. The cannabis retail dispensary shall only dispense approved products that are approved by New York State. We are requiring a detailed landscaping plan and buffering neighboring properties. And the dispensary shall have an egress independent from any other use and shall directly discharge to a public way, and submit all necessary proofs of licenses. And we have some regulations regarding parking. So we can open that up to the public. I noticed that we did get, did we get anything from the planning board?
No, I did send it to them though.
Was it 30 days that we?
Yep, I sent it to right after we made the,
We haven't got anything from the planning board,
I think that might be a little.
but we did get a 239M referral from county planning. And they said it was a matter of local concern, but they had a few suggestions for change in the law. I've read through that. Some of them might be something that we want to amend the law with. So Taylor Young is on vacation, or he's not available tonight. And he was to prepare part 2 and 3 of the environmental assessment form. So we're going to have to, we may keep the public hearing open, or we'll adjourn it to the next month before we take a vote and finish seeker. And I will discuss with Taylor some of these recommendations. And if anybody from the town board wants to review it, has any suggestions to us on incorporating some of these suggestions from county planning, I thought they were pretty thoughtful into the law, we can do that. And now we can just open it up to the public if anybody wants to comment on the law.
Is there anybody that has any comments?
I have a comment. So in Great Barrington, when they first started allowing the dispensaries and the first one opened, there was such a long line waiting to go in that they had to enlist the local police department to basically do crowd control. So I'm just wondering if this is the only, if we end up being like, you know, one of the only dispensaries in the area, we could also be faced with a long line of people standing out on the street waiting to go in. So if in fact that happens, who's going to cover the cost of the police having to manage, you know, do crowd control? Is that something that the dispensary will have to pay for?
Yeah. I mean, I know in Great Barrington, there was one
Yes,
that opened
Deary
up.
Wellness,
Very popular.
very popular.
And now I think there are like 6 or
There
7
needs
in
to
the
be.
town.
I think has increased and therefore the lines have dissipated.
I don't know how the state is moving along on approving these. I have to tell you, I'm not optimistic that Pine Plains will get one, a license. And there's a lawsuit that's pending that's holding up things for upstate New York against the law. I just don't know how many of these dispensaries are going to be licensed. So we're not going to have a situation like Great Barrington.
Okay.
And we certainly won't have 6 in Pine Plains. But if we do have one and that happens, that would be something that the owner of the dispensary would have to deal with. It wouldn't be a cost that the town would have to deal with. But I know what you're talking about, because we travel that route all the
Yeah.
time to get up to Cape Cod. We go through Great Barrington and seen that line.
A long way. And then is you mentioned the house of worship and something else, but what about is there any distance from the library or a school? You only, I think.
Yeah,
you
we have
only-
other,
You
let me
only
just
need
see
a
what-
couple, but
we do have other restrictions. Give me a second. We have 500 feet from a house of worship, a building containing child care establishment. This is all 500 feet. Any school property, a park, structural facility, providing whether wholly or partly an essential public service, that would be a public library. A building containing licensed premises as defined by the ABC law, another a liquor store, and a building containing another cannabis dispensary. So yes, that would apply. to
The
library.
county also recommended, as far as a daycare to children, a public park, a playground, a swimming pool, library, or a center facility where the primary purpose is which to provide recreational opportunities or just.
Yeah, we
So,
may take
yes.
some of that and put it into the law. So it might be a couple of meetings before we get this in final form. So we'll take that into consideration.
Anybody else? So I think we'll keep the public hearing open.
Let's keep it open and then if any of you have any comments after, because we just got the county planning, you can email them to me and Taylor with a copy to Taylor, and I'll email this to Taylor. And if we wind up revising the law, I'll get you the revised law in time for your next workshop meeting.
Like you want, do we need to vote on keeping it open or we can just keep going?
Yeah,
We can just leave it.
yeah, I'll keep it open. If anybody wants, or the public wants to send in written comments, we can accept that during this period of time.
Clerk's report.
I have the approval of the December 2022 town clerk's report and the December 15th, 2022 town board minutes and the January 5th, 2023 reorg minutes.
I move that we accept those minutes as, that report and the minutes as submitted.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bills?
I have 2022 bills, general number 19811 through 19835, highway bills number 19823 through 19844, water bills 3174 through 3177, and I also have one for Clark Patterson and Lee, which would be in 2022 for $1,507.12. And then I have 2023 bills, general bills number 19845 through 19855, and highway bills number 19856 through 19860.
I move that we pay those minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Supervisor statement. Thank you for everyone in attendance tonight, as the weather is nasty out. Town of Pine Plains is entering a very productive year, I'm hoping. There are many projects on the horizon that I hope we can start and complete. To list a couple, our installation of our new playground down by the beach, new dugouts for the softball fields, and lighting for our youth fields. We have a road project on Woodward Hill that will be underway soon, just to name a few. 2023 will be a big year for Pine Plains. Plans for a new town hall will be started in the near future. The recreation department is in full mode, and the youth programs being offered are getting fuller and fuller. We have hit the ground running, and it is a great and exciting time to be a resident of Pine Plains. Town attorney.
Okay. So I'll discuss with you the volunteer firefighters and ambulance workers, property tax exemption. The supervisor sent to me a draft of a form agreement, a local law that would incorporate the provisions of section 466-A of the real property tax law, which would allow a real property tax exemption of up to 10% of the assessed value of real property owned by qualifying volunteer firefighters and ambulance workers. And I can reface this draft into a formal local law if the board is in favor of it. I would assume that you would, if you did it, you'd want to grant the full 10%. You can grant less than that if you like, but I need to hear from you if that's your pleasure. An individual would be qualified to receive that exemption if they're enrolled in certified member of an incorporated fire company, fire department, or volunteer ambulance service that services the town of Pine Plains and has a minimum of 2 to 5 years of service. So you have to tell me what you want to put in there. 3?
If the board agrees to that.
Is that okay with everybody?
That is
And we would do the full 10
Full 10.
years. So I will do that.
10%.
10%.
And then there's a lifetime exemption of up to 10%, which I assume you would also want to do for someone who's accrued 20 more of years in active service. And it has to be their primary residence. If it's used partially for primary residence and partially for some other purpose, only the primary residence portion gets the exemption. So I would assume for a lifetime, for somebody who's accrued 20 more years, you would also want to give them 10 years. So I'll take care of that. When is your workshop meeting? Or are you gonna have, do you have a workshop meeting scheduled?
We don't have them scheduled.
Because I'd like to get this in place before March 1st, the tax status date.
So we can have
Yeah.
a workshop meeting.
So-
So
The
we can
Monday,
do that.
the Monday before next month's board meeting.
Okay, so I will get this to you as soon as possible with instructions and maybe. So you could do it at your workshop meeting and we can have the public hearing. So it's in effect prior to March 1st. And I'll put, is our assessor here by any chance?
No,
Okay, I'll put the assessor on notice that we're gonna do that. So that people are informed that they need to come in, I believe, as of March 1st to qualify for this. So we kind of have to rush this through to get it in place by March 1st. So I'll get this out to you very shortly. I think that's all I have. And I looked over your 284 agreement, it looks fine. I just wanted to warn, is our new highway superintendent?
yes.
I've had some problem, I had a problem in one other town that I represent with regard to paving of user highways. Where the user highway is created by use. And in actuality, on many of the user highways that we have that are town highways, the underlying fee simple is owned by the adjoining property owner. And we got into a dispute with a property owner where the road was paved and it exceeded by several feet the paved portion of the highway that had been established. And we have a lawsuit as a result of that. So I just want to warn the town and the highway superintendent that when they pave the road, they have to be careful to try to keep within the limits of the paved section and the shoulders of the road, which are usually 3 feet on each side. If we're going to exceed that in any way, you have to notify me, because we may have to get permission from the adjoining property owner to widen the road. So just be
Thank you.
cognizant of that.
Keep them the same size, Carl.
Carl, do you have any questions for Warren in regards to that or no?
You can contact me if you have any questions about anything
Thank you.
with regard to the highway department.
I certainly will.
And that's all I have.
While we're on that topic, do you want to go ahead and approve?
I'll make a motion that we approve Carl's 1080, would you call it 1084? 284.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That has to be filed.
I'm
I
agreed
think we
to.
filed that with Dutchess County also, highways.
Public comment.
I have one that came from a high schooler of Zoe Osasky. And with the parade of lights trash cans still in the center of town, I've noticed a lot less stuff on the ground and in the park. Where I think that we should try, her recommendation was trying to put more recycle bins downtown that look good to keep trash off the street. So I think it is an effort that we might try to take of, putting some garbage cans down there instead of just
We had
having.
looked at for the beautification committee, we had actually looked at 3 different types of garbage cans, because it was something on our list. We haven't met recently, but we do have some garbage cans that look nice,
The only issue that's come to mind is who,
pays for it.
no, well, I mean, like, who takes care of it? Like, who, yeah, who empties it? I think that, that I don't think the cost of it is, the thing, but like, whose job would it fall to on emptying it?
Well, at this point, why don't we leave that being the beautification committee already looked into it? Next time you guys meet,
Bring your
why don't you guys
recommendations.
discuss it a little bit more and
I
then
don't know
just,
what the next meeting is, but sure, yeah.
Yeah.
just bring it back to us and then.
I mean, it's not the end of
On
it. I think the only real issue that we need to come up with is who empties it. Like, it doesn't go to the
It's
buildings and
definitely a good
grounds,
idea to have garbage. cans
buildings and
because-
grounds, because there's nothing there.
I
And,
know,
like by the banks, by the building.
it's really neat.
Those garbage cans that are out now for town decorating day, I'm one of the people who run town decorating day. I bring them in typically around May. And I guarantee there's like 2 of the 5 that would be full, so I could dump all of them into 2 of them, that would be full. In that entire time period, that being said, summertime would be a lot busier. So I'd imagine probably,
I mean, one of them's almost full now because we were walking by it the other day and we noticed it that we, because, and a lot of people were saying that they've been like, like for their dogs, when they're walking their dogs, they don't have to carry, things around. But I just think it was one of the letters that the seniors wrote that I think that we
I
can
think
get
it's
on board with.
important we have recyclable containers out around town. If I remember correctly.
Not that I am
I
aware.
remember.
Because I remember going around them.
But I don't see them there anymore though.
No.
There used to be one, I think, by the bank, like by the ATM, like back in that little thing.
Yes, there is one there. There's
Uh,
always one there, the bank maintains. the garbage.
So I think one by the pharmacy would be all right, one by the garden.
Yeah.
Just.
Does anybody else have anything? Okay, we'll move into department reports. Highway.
We've just been running, and cleaning up and picking up sticks and keeping the drains clean.
Okay.
About it.
How you liking it?
Pretty good. I've been keeping the snow off the road perfectly.
You've been doing a great job.
That's to my knowledge of it in the last few winters.
Building inspector.
I prepared this month, my monthly report for December and also created a year-end report for 2022. Some of the numbers are kind of interesting to look at. Total permits for the year turned out to be 123. Keeping in mind that 20 of those are the condos that were built over by the liquor stores, but nevertheless, that leaves 95 permits, which is, you know, twice as many as some years in the past 10 years we wrote. Also 42 new houses were built. Again, 28 of those are condos, but that does leave 14 individual single-family residents that were built last year. So that's, again, a surprising number to me. 81 certificate of occupancies for the year, 105 certificate searches, and 262 inspections for the year. So it was an extremely busy year.
Thank you, Drew. Water engineering.
Daily production at the water department remains steady at 55,000 gallons per day. Over the last month, 1 water meter was replaced, 12 meter heads were replaced after the fourth quarter meter readings. 3 utility markouts were performed in the last month. Both chlorinator pumps, the feed lines and fittings were cleaned and then placed back into service. And the fourth quarter 2022 fourth quarter readings were taken during the last week of December, and the bills had gone out at the beginning of the month. The bills also contained a note regarding the new updated rates for 2023, indicating that they are taking effect for the first quarter. And so we just reminded everybody that the fees were going up. Currently working on preparing the annual water quality report, as well as the annual water withdrawal report that needs to be submitted to New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. So I'll have both of those for the board next month. Other than that, just continuing to work on the inventory as far as service lines. So again, I hope to have that completed sometime in the summer. Actually, the replacement of all the meter heads is coming very handy because I'm able to do inspections on each one of the services as I'm doing the replacement. So it's worked out pretty well.
Perfect.
You know, we paid some big bills on those leaks. So it's really quite astounding how much that costs when we have a major leak.
Especially the one happened right on 199.
Yes.
In the center of town.
Yes.
Because of the requirements that New York State DOT had, and unfortunately, it happened right next to a catch basin that had fallen apart, and we are responsible for rebuilding. Astronomical, there's no question.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like leaks.
But when you have an old system, you're going to have them sometimes.
Yes, we do. Yeah, knock on wood, you know, you've been very fortunate. You know, even again, I think, other than those 2 that occurred late last year, I think we only had one other major leak toward the beginning of the year. So we were
That's right, yeah.
we were very fortunate. But yes, those did hurt. No question. They hurt.
We're going to talk about the billing system, the online billing system.
Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly why it has October. I didn't receive that until last month. I think I started talking to him back in October about the potential of providing a service, but there is a proposal before the town board that I had received through the billing company that we currently use that handles all of our billing software. And it's for them to provide the service of online bill payment. All of the costs associated with the bill payment are borne by the user. So that is to say the customer is going ahead and making those credit card payments. Again, it's a percentage of the overall bill. They would come in, they would set up the website. And also that would be maintained by them as well, as far as providing monthly information of the deposits that are being made, so that we can place it into our system as well. But again, all the costs are borne by the user.
And this is the one that we cannot link with the rec department.
This is.
That's correct.
Yes, this is strictly for water. This is.
Well, I think me and Jim still have high hopes that we're gonna be able to find one online, but we will, but I think that we could find one online system where we would be able to do, even the police department, you know what I mean? Like everybody, like all on that one, but if not, you know. So I don't wanna make a decision on this yet, because you know how much I want.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with the cost going back to the consumer, because like for me, to pay on there, it's a little convenience fee, the town shouldn't be charged. I should have to pick up that, in my eyes, and you know, for the convenience fee, I have no problem with that. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know it's something we've had customers provide inquiries as far as the possibility. And I know, members of the town board were also interested in seeing what that cost would be able to happen.
What's the total cost here of this whole?
Well, again, there's no cost to us, so it
They
really
take a
depends on the
percentage.
amount of customers utilizing the service. So it's a percentage based on, it's, I believe, 1.5% to 2% for each charge. But again, that gets charged to the credit card of the person paying their bill.
Like, we don't have to pay anything back.
So it's not the
happens
town,
In the
right.
same purchase.
So being that's part of the water department,
They,
why are we even worrying about combining the two? Because
well, okay, I
can-
got you on that.
you understand what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, in
This is-
general.
are you
one
happy with
stop
this
for
program?
everybody in
Yeah, I'm
town.
happy with it. I talked with the town of Red Hook. The town of Red Hook utilizes the same company and they've come in and they've done it and they've operated it now for 3 years and they've been very satisfied.
Because I would like to just hold out and see, instead of having to go to one site to pay your water bill. Maybe we can get one where you can pay your water bill, pay your recreation bill, pay your dog license tax. All on one site instead of jumping around. I mean, it's not gonna kill us to do it, to approve it right now, where if we put a little effort in and try to find one that works for the entire everyone together. So it's not multiple sites.
I've noticed for like dog licenses from other towns, it's through my BAS program, which they put right on the town website. So if the town website could be the access point for all of them and they all had different programs, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right?
that's what
But you have an example of your utility payments, so this link would be on the town website, so if you have this program. Madeline had a different program, like she just said, correct me if I'm wrong,
Okay.
it doesn't matter.
It would
Okay,
just
it's
access
all in
them.
one location, okay, they wanna pay their water bill, as long as the water department click on the button
Right.
and go to that line.
then I am fine with that.
And we have something that says paying bills, like there's a heading so that you can get to the
We
right
can have it.
place. Let's do it.
So can I get a motion on allowing him,
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Get moving on. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, send that out in Q2 bills, or maybe even a special mailing. I don't know how much it costs you to mail things.
What we'll probably do is we'll send it out with the end of the first quarter billing.
Mhm.
So that would be end of March, beginning of April.
So we have time to set it up anyway.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep, that
And
would
when
be-
you get that all set up and everything, let us know. We'll get it directly on the website stating,
Yeah, so actually I'll need to, who manages the town website?
you can call
Amanda?
Amanda.
Okay, so I'll coordinate with Amanda, so that way the billing company can.
Yep.
Get together with her to make sure everything works appropriately and. The
Yeah.
links are located in the appropriate locations as well.
I'm just curious what the sort of projected amount that the company is likely to get from our town.
Their revenue?
Yeah,
Everybody's paying everything with a card nowadays, so who knows? It could be,
I can see if I can find out.
I mean, it's $3 a month. It's
An-
basically,
an
it's-
estimate.
it looks like some of it's $3 a
Well,
month.
no, if it's
A month.
1% of the 41 or 43.50.
Six.
Right, so I'll have to, but I can check with Red Hook. I'll see
Yeah.
if they
Yeah,
have, based on the number of people that are actually utilizing. it.
right. Because I would like to know what it's costing our town, and not the town, our
residents.
population, our residents. I know it's a choice issue and they could always put it in an envelope. But if there's a negotiation that we should be looking at, it wouldn't be bad to save people money if there's
What I'll do is,
potential to do that.
From Red Hook, I'll see if I can find out the percentage of the number of customers that actually are utilizing the service.
Mhm,
And then also based on that number, if they have an estimate of what the charges are, this and what the revenue going back to them.
mhm, mhm,
I'll see if I
mhm.
can find that out.
Well, I have no problem with you going forward with this now. I would just like that information.
Sure, I'll contact them and see what I can find out.
Ray, do you have anything else?
I'm sorry, the only other item is submitted the plans. My apologies, I was all prepared to go out to bid on the dugouts. Then I recall, obviously, that there was the MIG grant that was received through the county for funding, so that means the plans and the bid document had to be approved by the county planning department prior to going out to bid. So they currently have it. I'm being told that I should get any responses back tomorrow as far as any comments.
Perfect.
So once I do that, then I will go out and do it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Recreation.
Right now, we got weekend basketball, youth basketball ongoing, as well as our wrestling program. Baseball and softball are gonna be starting workout preseason soon. And things are moving along there. Earlier this week, I received an email from I forget which organization, I believe it was Twyla. They have done their health of the lake thing. Matt was also in that email. And the health of the lake has improved since we've taken the efforts to clean up the beach and work with the Department of Agriculture on the geese solution. So Matt's done the heavy lifting on the Department of Agriculture side. The rec staff have been working really hard over the past few years to clean that space up. And I thought it was pretty cool to see that those efforts there are improving the overall lake. So I thought that would be something interesting to share with you all.
That wouldn't be Twyla, that would be the Stissing Lake Association.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. I wasn't sure who was doing the stuff. I got the email, I just pumped that.
And we have one more year with Ken,
Okay,
and then I think we reassess.
okay.
What we do with the geese, but I know we have one more year of him coming in April and starting to do his thing.
Anything else? Okay, everybody received the animal control report?
Yeah.
Police department.
We got 12 hours of court, 113.5 of patrol, 28 hours of admin, 4 hours of investigation, 28 hours of school, 31 hours of training, 9 hours of details, 30.5 of vehicle/other. Had 12 complaints, 6 warnings, 26 UTTs issued, and 1 arrest. 31 scheduled shifts, 34 total other. Myself and Sergeant Bellevue received 11.5 hours of training on body worn cameras, and Officer Cameron received 8.
Thank you. Old business.
Nothing that I can think of other than
No.
where we at with sewer, just
Yeah,
it's fresh on the mind.
Does the library want to speak on the letter that we received today?
We just figured we'd give you time to review it and if you wanna. I mean, it kind of epitomized our issue needing a public or a private meeting space, but. Other than that, we just kind of wanted to ask if we could utilize that space or what the process is to utilize the space. Do we need to submit a form? What's needed?
Well, Mike uses one of them for his office, so right, of the
Yeah.
library, and then there's the other one.
Okay, all right.
We're
that's
gonna
fine.
discuss this in the next session.
Okay, all right, but we received a letter, thank you.
Yes. New business? All right, I need a motion that we move into executive session for personnel and building use.
I move that we do that. Are we gonna make any
I'll second
decisions?
No,
Okay. So then I'm gonna bring us back from executive session
I'll second that, and I'll motion to adjourn.
and I'll second that.
all in favor? Aye.
Aye.